singing about what I'm living, plus a little bit more. You can call me a troubadour. They call us troubadours. Trouble's far behind me, no worries on my brow. I've thrown away regrets, learning to live in the here and now. And everywhere I go, people ask me, hey man, what kind of music do you play? And I just say, gonna hear some blues, like a freight train rolling through. Gospel soul and some good old rock and roll, singing about what I'm living, plus a little bit more. They call us troubadours. They call me a troubadour.
More than a decade.
Well, good evening, everyone who's tuned in for another live broadcast
Shocking.
from the Duncan Showroom, where tonight a lot of people think that it would be our normal dress rehearsal Tuesday, but the last Tuesday of the month is Flow.
I hate to disappoint
For
musicians.
the love of words. And there's no disappointment.
There's no disappointment involved.
People should learn that this is like this year, because you guys wouldn't take on a slot.
What?
In the 39 days of July.
Oh, well, wouldn't isn't the
What
right
I
word.
did know is we have the storytellers, the Cowichan Valley storytellers.
Yeah, let those people
are
in.
doing an hour. And also the, what do you call that?
Truth tellers?
No, yeah, something
comedians?
like that. No. You go to them to learn how to talk.
Speechologists.
No. It's an organization. They're in every town.
I know. The Roastmasters.
No.
Toastmasters.
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 You're the roast master.
I didn't hear anything about a slot. I just heard slot.
Oh, wow. Now. Projection. That's projection.
Who's what?
He's projecting again. Okay. Don't worry.
You should take on a slot.
A slot.
Anyway, sorry to disappoint you. I didn't find that Flow worked at 39 days particularly, but that could be me. And I'm glad you have storytellers and Toastmasters.
Well, the nice thing about that would be for next year.
Yeah.
Would be that you don't have to. There's no. If there was no one else other than you, then you could just tell all your poetry
For an
all
hour.
your racy stuff for an hour.
Oh my God, John!
Corrupt
that's a
all the
nightmare.
young minds.
It's a nightmare. Plus, it's a family thing. It's like I don't know. I can't do sex and death poetry in the park.
In the middle of the afternoon,
In the
yes, you
daylight. Yeah.
We could. I'll put little things. These guys are rude. How's that?
What?
I'll put a little disclaimer. Poetry.
Weird or
could
rude?
be rude.
Could be rude. Okay. You're not making it enticing, but anyway, you work on the concept.
Well, I didn't like the way you were saying, well, we're sorry that we're doing Flow. No, you shouldn't be sorry. We're glad we're doing Flow.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Flow is a
okay.
cool thing.
All right. 18
Especially
years.
18 years.
Coolness.
Into our 19th.
Yeah. Well, we're growing up.
Shit.
We can practically drink now and have sex. Flow.
Fuck, there you go again.
Yeah.
That's why we can't take it to the park.
'Cause it's nakedness in the daylight. I almost got arrested naked gardening the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, that's too bad.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Especially in that community.
I know.
Anyway, there's 31 days till the 39 days of July for anyone who's tuning in. It's going to be a fun time. We got about a week's work. Well, we got till Monday morning at the very latest if everything goes well. But we've had a situation that the guy, there's been a few little blockages, which I think are interesting, and that is that Andrew Brown, unfortunately, has this wonderful big dog, sort of a mastiff, that just, you look at him and it's like, you're going to take a piece out of him, but he's also got this, he's young, but muscular, but he's got not a funny face, but just a face that only few people could love.
So you don't want to tease him because he's muscular.
Well, no, he barks everything, and it's fun. But I've become friends with him. I go to
Right.
see him the other day, and he's very, very sick. He got a tick, we think,
Oh.
and he took him to the vet, and he almost died because he's all sorts of things going wrong.
Oh.
Like something got in the system and just poisoned him.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't. He's not allowed out on his own, so it had to be. We figured that. And maybe a hip, because of it, something happened to the hip, and now we may have to get a hip replacement.
Yeah.
So we're kind of worried about the dog, and I waited a week, or for at least 4 or 5 days, before I got a hold of him to ask him how Kevin was doing. He says, "Well, Kevin's pulled through to a point like he's still not there,
Yeah.
but he's not going downhill."
Right.
Unlike my mother-in-law, who died yesterday at lunch while we
Whoa.
were having lunch with her.
Your mother. Wait a minute. This woman we know
No, we don't
died
know her.
during lunch.
But Andrew Brown's mother-in-law,
Oh, his mother-in-law.
yeah,
Jesus.
passed away.
During lunch. I'm sorry.
I know,
I didn't
but
mean
the
to laugh.
dog's okay.
The dog's okay. Yeah, we know your priorities, fella.
Well, the
Dogs.
dog's still alive, so you would
Yeah.
wish for the dog to be alive. Once you're dead, it doesn't really matter.
I suppose
You
not.
don't know about it, and it's only the people around you.
Right.
It's kind of like the same with being stupid.
Oh, man.
That was wonderful.
I feel stupid.
Hey, isn't that cool?
That was a good lead-in,
This is
John.
Bill
Thank you.
Evedy.
Thank you for that lovely dance with words.
Thank you.
Longevity, John.
Later, Gators.
Later, Gators. Wow, he's getting better at the setups. I'm so gullible. I always fall for them anyway. Okay, I was given a challenge, and I think this started for me not just as a teenage alcoholic, but it was when New John brought something about inner child work. Remember, John, there was that thing about protective behavior, or you act in such a way that you acted when you were first experiencing trauma, even though you're an adult, and it may be inappropriate, but it's like a protection. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I've been thinking about that for 15 years. And then I haven't changed much, but I thought, shit, darn, damn, I'm 66 and single, and I have a 13-year-old granddaughter, so I didn't quite manage to morph into an adult when I was raising a daughter, but I think maybe now's my chance. So anyway, my challenge from a friend was to write a letter to my father, who was a famous swordsman. So you'd say, and I know that makes it sound enticing. Dear Dad, I'm sorry we didn't get to talk the last time we saw each other. You had slipped into a coma, Paris Hospital, 2003. You were 86 years old. I'm glad I got to ask the barbershop quartet, who just happened to be performing in the cafeteria, to come up to your room and sing to you down by the old mill stream. I hope you felt the love in that. I enjoyed you toting me around to your rehearsals as a kid. Great memories of music. One time, what's happening? One time we had a conversation, and I asked you if you were sorry that our family had broken up. You said, more than anything, you wished we could all be together. I thought at the time that was a lie, you told, to make me feel better, that it was what you thought I wanted or needed to hear. Years later, I feel like maybe there was some truth in it, that perhaps you, like myself, didn't fully understand the road you had traveled, and that you wished it could have been different, that you had been a different man. As a child, growing up, I felt my life was pretty damn good. A neighborhood full of friends, endless games of road hockey and football, ice hockey, baseball. You were my hero, a strong, athletic, handsome man to look up to. None of the other dads was an excellent diver like you, a strong swimmer, an enthusiastic coach, an accomplished musician. You were there in the corner at the ice rink hollering, "Go get 'em, boy!" You were the reason I'd come out of the corner with the puck. You were there consistently flooding the rink in the Crescent so we could spend countless hours skating, honing our hockey skills so we could keep up with the big boys. I'd come out of the bath and you were there to scrub my head with a towel as you watched our ancient TV, brief bonding rituals. Only looking back did I realize how much time I spent alone with Mom, talking to her at night in your bedroom as she darned socks and sewed up torn pants. She was my actual guide, the one who spent the real time. But a dad is a boy's hero, and you just don't see the chinks when you are a child. I was devastated when you both sat me down and told me that you were getting divorced. I went from being an outgoing, friendly, top student to a sullen, angry ghost of a boy. One time soon after, I disrespected you at the dinner table, and you reached over and slapped me on the face. You had never, ever done that. I ran outside in tears and choked them back, vowing never to cry openly again. I've spent years, stubborn Billy, stuffing emotions down only to cry at poignant moments in the movies, which still counts. I think. It's still processing. The vocational high school where you taught was 4 blocks from home. 2 blocks from home, next door to my elementary school, were the condos where your new family lived. Your high school's head janitor and her 2 boys. After school one day, I rode my bike to a place unseen by you and watched as you drove up and got out and hugged 2 boys I did not know and hugged and kissed a woman I did not know. Just silently, with a dead air of detachment, I watched you. That's a good word. All the things once valued in me felt dead on that day. School, family, achievement, marriage, vocation, leadership, love, heroes, dead. I entered high school a different beast. Just me and Mom in a shitty little apartment above the hairdressing salon. Salon? I love saloons. 1 block from the high school. I became a C student, shy, bitter, uncaring before I found my way to drugs and booze. Before I found my way to drugs and booze, masturbation became my solace. Temporary, empty. Mom had to take a full-time secretarial job for us to survive. Despite her ill health, after years of putting up with your criminally serialized bestiality, I just wanted to see if that would get a laugh. That's not true. Sorry, dark humor. I had to relieve something. I meant to say serial infidelity. Sorry, there was no bestiality. I'm sorry. Which sounds so much nicer now, doesn't it? Like high fidelity. Yeah, serial infidelity, high fidelity. My father specialized behind a curtain of lies in high fidelity. Imagine sailing trips with the boys and upgrading courses. That's my favorite. Upgrading courses, yeah, he took a lot of those. Upgrading Mrs. Jones's Bones's courses. That's as far as I got today, this afternoon, so that was a good exercise, but despite my need to insert some dark humor. But anyway, thank you, whoever that friend was, for challenging me to do that, because when your parent's dead, you're not going to talk to him, so I think writing the letter will be and has already been cathartic. Thank you. On a lighter note, no, that was it. Mark, I'm going to bring you up early because I always hold on to you like a crown jewel. Mark Primer, and I'm not going to sit here and interview tonight because I'm not in the mood. I don't know if that's even a good thing, is it, Mark? I used to like the way you did it because you would ask poignant questions. Okay, I'm going now. Mark Primer. Thank you.
That's better. So I think I'll start off with a poem by a woman named Elizabeth Bishop, and it's called One Art. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with intent to be lost that their loss is no disaster. lose something every day, accept the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. The art of losing isn't hard to master. Then practice losing farther, losing faster. Places and names and where it was you meant to travel. None of these will bring disaster. I lost my mother's watch. And look, my last, or next to last, of 3 loved houses went. The art of losing isn't hard to master. I lost 2 cities, lovely ones, and vaster. Some realms I owned, 2 rivers, a continent. I missed them, but it wasn't a disaster. Even losing you, the joking voice, a gesture I love, I shan't have lied. It's evident. The art of losing is not too hard to master, though it may look like, write it, like disaster. So I was looking for another poem that another piece of writing that I thought might mirror what my experience was over the last few days. On Sunday, I went to a funeral. I don't know if anyone here knows Jacob Jones, Coco Jones' son. I had probably 3-4 years ago, I had Dylan and I had Jacob over for supper, and I love those guys. I wouldn't encounter them very often, but they would come down to the market, and Jacob was so fucking handsome. One time he came down, he was wearing this green shirt. It was soft, and it was open all the way down to his navel. And I slipped my hand in underneath to his chest, and I go, fuck, you're so goddamn good looking. Well, and then I learned that last month, if you want to know how Jacob died, you could go to Coco Jones' Facebook page, and you could read what Dylan wrote. I was in the forest the night before, and I was just trying to process my thoughts around Jacob's death. I wasn't actually planning on. It wasn't like I was thinking, I'm going to read for the funeral, but I did read for the funeral, or I asked to read for the funeral, and I had a hard time keeping it together, but this is what I wrote. Something which has never been lost on me is that in time, everything that is horrific or difficult ends up romantic. I offer as an example that my grandfather was the product of a relationship between his mother and a wandering poet. I'm a poet, and when I heard that story, I thought how epic it seemed to me. But maybe it wasn't epic. It seems more likely that it was quite painful for the people involved. Still, I don't see it that way. I still think of it as epic, even romantic. Time has a way of assuaging any wounds. Earlier this month, I was reminded of a time when I woke up in the early morning to discover flashing red lights out my bedroom window at my neighbors across the street. Their son had committed suicide. I remember thinking, why would Jim kill himself? He was so handsome. It's now many years later, probably 45 years later, and I don't think I've thought of young Jim all that much for many years. But about a month ago, I received news that someone else whom I knew, mostly in passing, had killed themselves. And again I thought, how can this be? He was so handsome. Maybe two devilishly handsome, charming, and talented young men killing themselves isn't a trend, but it certainly seems so to me. The funny thing about death is that most of the time, it's at the very back of our mind, almost as if death were at the very back of the bus. But that, of course, is a lie. Death is always with us, or never far from hand. Here I am, taking a walk in springtime, and what do I hear? I hear birds chirping, green leaves are budding, flowers are blossoming, bees are buzzing. Those are the high notes, the sharp high notes you hear played on a piano, which by themselves seem meaningless if not played against the specter of an approaching fall and winter. Years ago, I started writing a sequence of poems about a character named George who seeks and then finds and then loses love when his wife dies in a tragic and sudden car accident. The reason I took his love away was because I was trying to foreshorten the arc of life as I understood it from an early age. I knew that death was inevitable and that we must all face it. We must all feel the agony of grief. But what was more interesting to me as a writer was to understand the mysterious process by which we recover from grief. It's a roller coaster with as much to be gained from the highs as the lows. How do we recover from grief? I do not think my answer was profound, but what I think is it is nothing more than this, a series of small moments. There are times that I have been in immense grief, but what I found so interesting in the months and years that followed were those moments when I was not feeling any sadness whatsoever. That was interesting to me and telling. It meant that in those moments I was fulfilled. It meant that what I thought I had lost, I had found in someone else. We don't get to skip grief, but that's how I make sense of it. I've told a friend of mine that I think death will be hard on me. His death will be hard on me, but in the same breath, I've also said that I've known someone like him my entire life. In that way, he can never truly die. People rhyme with other people. Many beautiful people kill themselves. Sylvia Plath stuck her head in an oven. Hemingway shot himself. In the moment, it would have been horrible. It is horrible. But over time, maybe the thing that happens is that the darkness is stripped away, and what you are left with is a memory of their brilliance or heroic qualities. That's it.
Thank you for sharing that, Mark. Yeah, I can imagine that was hard to read in the moment. I think this bright, perspicacious young gal will not be shy about coming up right now, Stephanie. And sorry for pointing. John's listening. I think if you get a chance to talk to John later, Stephanie is also a musician who met us 18 years ago when maybe we were at the garage and played with her band, which was called Sister Girl. And you would be interested in, you know what might happen because he's already booked, but he does take names for people to fill in when people cancel. And he also has kind of open stagey situations. But make sure you chat him up after. But thank you for coming and sharing your poetry.
All right.
Welcome.
Okay. Hi, I'm Stephanie, and it's just an observation. I didn't know what to expect tonight, and it's like 80% men here. And my life seems to be like 80% men. I live in Rogers Pass with 50 men. And I've lived up there, I've worked up there about 8 years. And I've gone to other poetry readings, like in Penticton and around and Revelstoke, and it's always men. So where are the women? So, but I'm more comfortable around men, so this is great. I just feel like I fit right in, and it is interesting just to see, the gender that shows up at these things. So it's anyway. So I don't fit in, but I do because I don't fit in with women. So anyways, our friend here that just read, he was talking about loss, and I have actually these are songs I've written, but I was flipping through them as you were talking. It's like, oh, this is a loss of love. This is a loss of my mother. This is a loss of my house. This is a loss of my mind. So I guess we express, what really big things that happen in our lives, and loss is a big thing. So I'm on the island. Last time I was here was 18 years ago. And I had moved to a new town and belonged to the Historical Society. And I met this character that had just moved to town as well. He was married, and I fell in love with this man. And I'd go to the meetings all the time, and I was so happy to see him. And I joined the choir, and I sang beside him. And then he moved away, which was probably a good thing, because there was some spark between us. So anyways, I wrote this for him. And when I was coming over here on the ferry, I was like, wouldn't that be something if I could find him? Maybe. And I heard that he isn't married anymore. But that was, 10 years ago, so he could, whatever. So I probably won't find him, but I wrote this song for him. So this is a song about longing and the loss of something I never had, if that makes any sense. It was the loss of my heart a little bit. So, you never told me how you felt, and you never held my hand. You touched my arm once in passing. The truth is, your presence made me burn. I stood and watched you from a distance, my daydream night of Neverland. I know you see in me the woman that I am, and sometimes I wish you weren't such a gentleman. So if you think of me in your new town, I'll be here in the arms of a lesser man, trying to figure it out, trying to fill the gap you left behind of what wasn't meant to be. I know that I'll be all right, and this burr in my heart will one day be a pearl, because he put me in the arms of a lesser man. Last night we went out for a drink. I showed my heart. I didn't stop to think. Before you left this town, I wanted you to know about my feelings and how I'd never let them show. There is a line between decency and bliss. Did we cross it with that goodbye kiss? I know I see in you a man that's made for me. Sometimes I wish I weren't that lady. So if you think of me in your new town, I'll be here in the arms of a lesser man, trying to figure it out. Love has a cruel way of dealing out fate, and for me, well, it came too late. We can blame those kisses on the wine, and I can blame all my tears on circumstance and time. Thank you for showing me just what I could have been. I'm not beside you. It's a tragedy I'm in the arms of a lesser man, trying to figure it out, trying to fill the gap you left behind of what wasn't meant to be. I know that I'm too damn strong, and this pearl in my heart, well, it's rolled up in this song. I'll always want you. I'll dream about you in the arms of a lesser man. So, in the arms of a lesser man. Thank you.
That But Stephanie, dude, it's 2026. The internet is many terrible things, but it's also probably the greatest investigative resource in the world. Call out to this man. He might be single. Say, really? It's only 10 years. That's a perfect turnaround time for a man. He's in the relationship for 3 or 4 years. It takes him 3 or 4 years to recover, and now he should be just right. Yeah, I would say his name out loud. But anyway, thank you for sharing your lovely poem. Here's a guy who doesn't get out of the house much. Jay, did you bring something you want to share? Oh, really? You could just make something up. If you want. You just want to listen? That's okay. Byron. Mr. Byron Miller. Anyway, I'm glad that you made it and you came out of the house. Errol's been building... Here's the thing I love about Canadians. There was that humor piece. Are you okay, Mark?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. There's a humor piece about how we measure things, right? Kilometers, miles, feet, inches. And Byron goes, I've been building a lot of garden beds. And he goes, I don't know how he said it. He said some of them are 8 by 32. And I didn't have to ask to know that that was 8 feet by 32 inches, right?
Right.
That's very Canadian, I think. Or is it because
That's
we build
me.
things?
Yes, because of the carpentry connection.
But how many of you would have known that? There wasn't 8 feet by 32 feet. Because who builds gardens that big? Anyway, welcome. Hi.
Well, thank you. Well, I just want to thank the first two readers for the way they get their feelings out. That's something that I don't feel like I really do in a big way. A lot of what I do is more cerebral for whatever reason. So I'm working on that, I guess. Anyway, so I often say that we're going from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Oh.
Okay. Is John still here?
John Longevity, John?
He's Yeah.
hopefully listening. I always feel like he's listening. He's upstairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you write something for him?
Well, kind of. Okay. Okay. So the challenge every month is, like I leave here and I'm all inspired. I'm going to go home and write something, or I'm going to write regularly. I'm going to get a real routine, and then I don't. So, and then the day comes tonight, and I go, okay, what am I going to do? And so I look through what I've got and come up with something. Well, tonight I decided that I would write something, come hell or high water. So at about 5 o'clock I started. So I guess lately I've been asking existential questions. I came across a site on Facebook, an individual named Britt Hartley, who has a site called No Nonsense Spirituality, and she's all about religious deconstruction. She was a Mormon, deconstructed from that, and I know someone who is a deconstructed Christian at a similar kind of path, and so I've been exploring those kinds of things of late, and how we put things together to make sense of the cosmos, and those things change as we go through our lives and so forth. So I think I want to lighten it up a bit. Okay. This is something that I thought that John might appreciate. When when men who enjoy watching televised women's tennis develop tennis elbow themselves, that's known as a spectator sports injury. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay. Oh yeah. So it's like being an authentic poet here. What's that all about? Give me a sec. Okay, there's a word and it's poetaster. Is anyone familiar with that? Poetaster. A poetaster is a derogatory term for an inferior or mediocre poet. It typically refers to someone who writes poor, uninspired verse while possessing unwarranted pretensions to artistic value or literary greatness. So I know a guy online, he has a site and he calls it the Poetaster. So I wrote him this limerick. The first poo taster. A Neanderthal, nobly ancestored, found a cave where he wouldn't be pestered. With slimy shitballs, which he smeared on the walls, he composed crappy rhymes while sequestered. So I did that. And then, in the poetaster tradition, I decided I would write a sonnet. And I kind of cheated because the form, I've got all the rhymes the way I wanted them. The rhymes are correct. And there are 10 syllables in each line, but the emphasis is not always on the correct syllable. But that's okay. So, in a way, it's kind of an unedited sonnet. And it came out of my existential meanderings of late. So I'll just tell you what I put here. This is just a couple hours old. We daily walk the demon-haunted world. Carl Sagan loosed this concept in my mind. Apocalyptic patterns are unfurled, like greed and hate and ignorance unkind. But thankfully, in schools we strive to learn scientific method, not compliance to dogmas that make it hard to discern creationist myth as pseudoscience. Be like unto a brave iconoclast. Take down religious structures found within. Leave those prisons of the mind in the past. Devise a moral code devoid of sin. Question, analyze, deconstruct, disjoint. The point is to become pointless, then point. That's it. Thank you.
I remember there's a pile of cat doodles under the china cabinet as a child. Sometimes we try to go gender switchy when you can. Marry a woman following a man. And one time, Stephanie, we had 5 new female readers, and they were interesting, and the balance was beautiful, and they never came back. There was one a little outrageous reading from a man, but not to be mean, we try to be uncensoring, but
Don't laugh, Mark. It might have been you.
it wasn't. Oh, come on now.
You're
I wasn't
allowed
going to
to
say
laugh
that.
then,
I wasn't going
that's
to say that. Anyway, I hope they come back someday. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Whoa, what's that? Is that your regular purse?
Well, only when it's supposed to be my rainy time purse because it lets
Oh.
the rain.
Oh,
I'm
it'll
very
shoot.
pragmatic. about
You
these
are.
things.
Wow. My friend Mary, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. feels like an emotional night. And I've also, so yesterday, I met a guy on a boat. Yeah. And he's writing a book. And it was actually quite intelligent. Like, I don't know how intelligent his writing was. I didn't read it because that would have been a bit rude. I only just met him. But I did look at all his books as much as I could while we were talking. I was like, oh, well done, right? And then when he was talking about it, I was actually pretty impressed. Not that I need to be impressed, but he did inspire me a little bit. He's like, well, you know, if he can sit down and just start writing a book, like a whole book, based in structure on Dante's Divine Comedy. Really? And like, seriously, like even to the 6-pointed verses with 3 lines per verse, I was like, wow, that's intense. So Mary, maybe you should try writing something down and not just tell dumb stories in front of your mic. So I actually did write something because I also have been going through an existential crisis. Not like, I mean, you guys really said some profound stuff. And Stephanie, what you said was exactly the thing in my heart so much. Well, actually, I wasn't in anybody's arms, but the sentiments were in my heart recently, so that was nice. Or the fear. I don't know what it was. You really spoke to me. That's from a while ago. Oh, no. This is from today. So I tried to write something down about my existential crisis around color. Because I've had some emotions around colors in the last couple years. Oh, where do I start? Which goes back to India too, like those colored saris, like they were just everywhere. Like today, I did steal a pink rose. It was very bad of me, but it smelled really good, and it looks really good. Like you could just eat it up. So, yeah, I don't know. Don't tell anybody. It was pretty bad. Okay. Do you see rose colored or in green verdure? Maybe you get the blues or the mean reds. Those are worse. But is that really fair? I saw red roses today and they didn't seem at all mean. Just super alive and soft and a bit femme fatale. All at once. All those things at once. I've been a bit obsessed with color in my life. And I don't mean that in a nice way. I'm not sure where it started. I don't mean like a happy adventure in paint. I don't paint. I'm not an artist. I'm talking about really big feelings entirely impacted by the color of paint in random places. The shade of something. Can't read it. Oh, the shade of a perfect tiny white flower will bring me to tears. Or the colors of someone's eye. And I'm telling you, it's quite distracting and worse. Sometimes it throws me really off balance and not always with pleasure. Like it's not always a pleasurable off balance. Like, wow, that blows me away. It's like, why do I have to live with this? So last week I got obsessed with green and dyed my dishcloths, a number of undies and some tea towels, different versions of vert pomme, apple green. But the truth is I needed some green in my life that day. I needed something verdant to break the monotony of my digital tasks. And my one daughter running up, seeing the green laundry hanging on the line, looked up a little quizzically, trying to sort it out, and then realized, it must be report card season. Of course. And the other came over, looked me straight in the eye, up and down. Mom, you have a problem. And somehow, with my green clothes fluttering in the sun, I felt that they did both love and understand me, and they saw me somehow. But yeah, I have all these emotions. I remember cutting strawberries with my mom when I was young and bursting into tears, realizing and explaining to her vehemently and with great awe how the juicy red juice embodied all the life elements: love, hate, life, death, summer picnics, winter firelight, all in one shiny little berry. And it was so efficient and so beautiful and horrible at the same time. And she's like, just get the cake, Mary. And while we're talking about green and red, can we just let the whole Christmas prejudice go? I mean it. Because there's really something, it's the most striking thing I can think. That little shot of berry red on kind of a canvas of the really ugly old man's beard green. It's something to make your tongue water. I won't get into my recent and extended temper tantrum with regard to the walls in my kitchen and bath. Okay, I do have to go into it. Someone, a 17-year-old to be precise, decided that an elven Galadriel-inspired powder blue was just the thing for a kitchen. And no doubt, if I was 17 and had aspirations to embody Alice in Wonderland, this would duly serve. But I'm not 17, and I'm more fire than ice, and those walls have tortured me. Yes, to the point of tears. I cry a lot. For well nigh 2 years now, and maybe I am a big fat baby, and I cry too much, you may say, about paint. Maybe I could take a more pragmatic, a more balanced, a more mature perspective. All true, I'm sure. Working on it. And in the meantime, I'm learning to embrace the clash between the walls, those powder blue walls, and all my earthy green satchels and jackets hanging on them, and noticing that some weird, I can't read my writing. That same weird combination is all over Cowichan. The blue sky against the old firs and the wet kelp stranded next to the sparkling blue water at Cherry Point. And I'm asking the questions, really, I am, based on this paint. What am I to learn from this midlife color crisis? Should I care not quite so much? Or is it about finding my voice, speaking my needs? Because really, it is fine as long as it's not forever. Which of course nothing is, so it really should be fine. At any rate, the blue walls somehow, they have encapsulated many painful questions of my life in the last year or so. And I'm still not sure of the answers. Which brings me to another favorite, black. Faded or sparkly, whether it's a holy old woolen sweater or a $1,000 silk dress. Either way, nothing feels more feminine energy, Black Cat Cleo, than that. It's funny, to me, black is all about fashion. It is also the silhouette of a dock on the water at sunset. And it's chic and it's practical as a trim. But my first experience of black was, for me, fashion heaven. My mom, who when I was a child, after a day doing laundry and errands and cooking up spag or meatloaf, would disappear into her bedroom on nights when she and my dad had to play a concert. And she would emerge moments later, like sometimes 3 moments later, no longer a ragged old mama in her gray baggy sweats, but absolutely glittering in a full-length dress entirely composed of layers of Spanish lace with bell sleeves. If you had a pinch of rouge and a mascara, she was a vision of the night. And even my dear old funny dad, who in the daytime was uniformed in blue jeans, top, bottom, and boots, became quite dapper in his tux, his black tux and his bow tie. It's the art of illusion. And God bless our illusions. We need them. Yesterday, the clouds down at Cow Bay were like fluffy pink elephants, like the ones in Dumbo. Strawberry marshmallows floating across the sky. Ballet pink, yes, in tutus, in tulle. Even better, in a leg warmer, that's also cozy. I would almost say dirty pink. There's something really yummy about dirty pink. I struggled most of my life with Barbie pink. Dear Barbie, you poisoned bubblegum pink for a whole generation, you bodacious little flirt. But on this point, I do consider myself in recovery. Because when offered the option between seeing in rose or in gray, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Anyway, I hope that doesn't sound trite, because I actually don't even mean it tritely. I really struggled between gray and pink. And I think, in spite of Barbie, it's okay to choose pink sometimes. Yeah. Thanks for listening. I really needed to talk about color. That was a long time for me.
Well, I love that. I only grew confused when you said old man's beard green. And I thought, mildew? Grown to moss? Stay active. John Hadfield, please. Our friend new John. Thank you, Mary. 2 months in a row, John. That's brilliant. Thank you for... Oh, is your thing already up here? Okay. Do you want this chair?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Sure.
want to put it in the light.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Can
Okay.
I
Welcome,
sit
sir.
in your chair?
What's that? Yeah. I warmed it up for you.
Thank you. As is my wont, I have been bringing guitars and telling stories about them. First, technically, this is an Ibanez. I think it's around 2004. They call it a Talman. So it's acoustic electric. So the neck is very much electric, almost like a Strat. And it has pickup and some controls of volume and bass and treble. I was going out with a woman in Nanaimo, and her next door neighbor had a guitar, and I was always borrowing it. So I think it was either on one of my birthdays or around Christmas. She brought out this cardboard box that guitars go in, and I said, you know, how creative to put a bunch of sweaters in a guitar box. And then, because I had enough guitars, I just didn't have any over there. So anyway, I opened it up, and there it was, and I was sort of flabbergasted. And she said she'd gone into, not Long and McQuaid, the other one, Lee Music, and it had been a door crasher for Boxing Day, I think, and nobody wanted it, so it was still there at New Year's. So she bought it, and you know, I've got many comments on it about how odd it looks. The sound hole is actually shaped like a guitar pick, and she paid $149 for it. And when I tell people that, they're like, "What?" And, I looked it up today. They're going for between $400 and $500. It's not an expensive guitar, but Ibanez makes really good guitars. So anyway, the reason I brought it was because since she gave it to me, it has become my main composing guitar. So almost everything I come up with or try to write has been done on this guitar. So I thought rather than blabbing away, I'd read a couple of songs. And it's really funny. Mark, he's always setting themes or themes come up. So loss, death, existentialism, and the sky was mentioned. And I thought, okay. So one of the first things I wrote on this thing, I called Music with No Sound. An existential salesman was going door to door. I understood the knocking that I have no answer for. He turned and left a vacuum as a calling card, so I stepped outside my comfortable life to avoid an ignorance of Kierkegaard, Søren Kierkegaard. Now your existential vacuum is hoovering in my mind, sucking up my story dust. The universe rewinds. You surf it on this nothingness in egocentric waves, but all your time would be just like mine, comparing senseless notes in their graves. Confusion babbles to the quiet of the night. Euphony's silent when there's no one standing round. You say it ain't dark out yet, but I fail to see the light. You make your music with no sound. You're making music without a sound. There'll be no more sticky fingers from you playing in my head. No more conjugations with those verbs you've put to bed. I asked you quite politely to stop digging in my words, so all you took was that mean construct and built a symphony of thirds. Confusion babbles to the quiet of the night. I'm not going to repeat the chorus because that's stupid. So that's existentialism. And then Mark was talking about, that was the other one, suicide. So I got a suicide song. It's called I Can't Let Go. So you decided to go away. There's nothing I can say to change your mind. Choose another time. I'm not ready to see you go. It's your life. Do as you please. Who am I to make you see that you're like the falling leaves? You'll be missed, to say the least. Tell me, where's your smiling face? And where's your human touch? I send this out across the universe. Guess I loved you too much. I can't let go. How am I to carry on now that you're so far beyond my grasp, so close, so near? Sometimes it feels like you're still here. I took a walk down by the sea, heard you in the waves, could feel you in the breeze, just made me miss you more. Without you, tell me, what is life for? And tell me, where's your smiling face, and where's your human touch? I send this out across the universe. Guess I loved you too much. I can't let go. She went to Switzerland, $25,000. I'm sorry, what was your name? Yeah, not Mary. Stephanie, thank you. So you mentioned about a longing, and I was thinking about that, and I came across a Welsh word, hiraeth, and it roughly translates longing for a home that no longer exists or never existed as you remember it. Hiraeth. I don't know what I'm feeling, searching for a word, find it in some recess, trying to get some meaning. I didn't know I was grieving a loss I hadn't found. When the word came to me, tears rained down my healing. Hiraeth, hiraeth. That's what is before you know it. Hiraeth, hiraeth. That's what is before you show it. Hiraith, that's what is. That what is a longing that'll never be again. Time erased that notion, no feeling for belonging. Hiraith. Not going to repeat the chorus. You know, some people come up to me and they go, I've written this poem, can you make it into a song? And I go, well, I could try, but it won't be as you're thinking. So poetry isn't songs, and songs isn't poetry. But I was writing with my friend Dan, and one of the tests after you finish the song was to read it to see if it just flowed. So all of these songs flow, obviously. Hear it flow. This one's called, When You're Dying. My mother's 98, and I look after her, and she sits in the window all day and watches TV. I sit all day at this window, don't want nothing on my mind. Past is way too painful, and the future too steep to climb. But it's peace I'm looking to find. There are boxes of photographs. Should I send them all to you? On their own, they have no meaning. I wonder if you're feeling that way too. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with you. I'm alive, but this ain't living. I'm forgotten, not forgiven. We all need a new beginning. If you're waiting, well, the time's at hand. Ain't no stretching like some rubber band when you're dying. Oh yeah, when you're dying. One day you'll be sitting at a window, alone and staring at the past. Nothing but pain for a future. Any old breath could be your last. This too may come to pass. I'm alive, but this ain't living. I'm forgotten, not forgiven. We all need a new beginning. And if you're waiting, well, the time's at hand. Ain't no stretching like some rubber band when you're dying. And how am I doing for time, Bill?
That was about 37 minutes, I think.
Fuck off. Well, I got one more.
Okay, then.
Just one more. And it was to do with the sky. So one time when I was coming over to Nanaimo on the ferry, the weather was really bad and the sea was really rough and it was pitching all over the place, and they were telling people don't move around. So I'm sitting down in an aisle, and this kid with his mother goes walking up, and he's like balancing, and then he says, "It feels like I'm walking in the sky." And I thought, that's my line now, kid. Walk the sky. Well, he walked like an angel with broken wings, beseeching heaven down the highway of kings. I rolled down the window as I slowly drove by, while he raved like a madman, shook his fists at the sky. There's a weight on his mind for everything he lacked. He'd come this far, so there's no turning back, no turning back. Well, he railed at death and he cursed his fate as he traveled that road through the human state. So I stopped and I asked him if he wanted a ride, that the town of redemption's just over the rise. He turned and looked at me with them crazy eyes, and I saw myself reflected with no disguise. He said, "I am you, and you are me, and we are not alone. God knows who you are until we get back home. We'll pass through redemption, get our wings and fly. It's only through redemption that we can walk the sky, walk the sky." So he hopped in beside me, and we drove away. The road to redemption is man's free way. He spoke of the void and philosophy and how to live with uncertainty. He had no doubts he would never forget. He'll find himself, but we ain't there yet. He said, I am you and you are me, and we are not alone. God knows who you are until we get back home. We'll pass through redemption, get our wings and fly. It's only through redemption that we can walk the sky.
Can I touch it? It's beautiful.
Oh, and lately I tuned this string to a C.
What?
And this one to an F.
With the rest being the same?
Yeah.
C and F.
Yeah. So
Right
it-
now or no?
Yeah.
Ooh. Interesting.
Play a B flat.
What the hell's a B flat?
And down there. But don't touch those two strings.
I can't possibly do that.
Yeah, like that. But hit the other strings. Oh,
No. Sensei. Yeah, we hold the book.
Look.
C.
Oh, you want me to play?
Just hit it once.
Oh.
Don't bring kid his song.
No.
It's illegal. Oh.
And then an F is,
Ooh. Like an A minor.
yeah,
Or a
and a G minor is,
ooh. C and F.
and a D minor is this,
Oh, right. Wow.
and an A minor is this.
Oh, different.
So yeah. You know,
So say it again. C and F.
yeah, just change it to C and F, and then basically you can play stuff in B flat, F, and E flat.
Wow. Do you want me to carry one of these?
Oh, that's all right. I got two hands.
Okay. John Hadfield, ladies. and
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Thank you, John. Thank you for sharing your spoken song. I always appreciate that. That's a good one. Okay, who have I missed? Gord. Just listening. Okay, well, second chance for Juanine or Jay. Either of you. Sorry, did I say that right? Okay. And how are you feeling, sir? Do you want to try something? Not this week. Well, you're welcome to come back next month. I think we're doing one more month, aren't we? Oh no, because the festival starts. Yeah. So this is it until. Last year we did August, I believe, because the Shakespeare Festival's over, and who's talking? And John does some events in August, but maybe not on a Tuesday. So I will just say thank you. Oh, you would?
Just with you, if you want to chat a little bit. I don't know. I'm not feeling very.
Oh, okay. You want some support, moral support?
Yeah.
What's your shirt say?
Shirt says Queens of the Stone
Oh,
Age.
lovely.
Yes,
Lovely.
a very lovely little band
Mm-hmm.
that swears a lot.
They swear a lot.
Yes, actually, they just talk about dark things, but
Right.
put a nice little light-hearted, and nice groove to it.
That's how I'd like to be. I should listen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll listen to them with you anytime you like. We could have a Queen's listening party. Even.
Can we do some gummies?
Yes, I can make some special popsicles.
Okay, good.
It
It's my
really
friend Jay.
Helps. Hello.
Yes, I like your popsicles.
Thank you. I'm about to make a whole bunch of new goodies, actually. So peanut butter cups, popsicles,
Oh.
fudgicles.
That's sex talk.
Yeah, I'm gunning for
Well,
you.
platonic, straight male
Great,
sex talk. Yeah.
great.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Jay.
When you say peanut butter cup and gummies, or not gummy, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, gummies inside a peanut butter cup inside a fudgicle.
Oh, whatever you want to do, baby.
I know. This life is short. Life is very short. We might as well get on with it. I mean, I'm actually at about the point, it's about a year and a third where I haven't had any of these
Oh,
treats.
right. Which I really admired, you stepping back from smoking. And I don't view you as an alcoholic-y type, but you weren't doing that so much either, were you?
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
No,
I
got
admire
time,
that.
man. Yeah, I've got time.
I'm having trouble just stopping for more than 2 days or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Yeah, well, since I haven't had any of the wacky tobacco,
Mm-hmm.
I've increased drinking a little bit more. I take about a day, every other day, maybe, every third day.
Mm-hmm.
off. And
Nice.
I don't usually drink too much, but just enough to make sure that I'm not too sane, you know,
Right.
and sober. I don't find it's such an advantage in these times, and that's, you know, probably not going to help out people struggling with any sort of addiction and whatnot. But I do find it's times, if you have a certain level of awareness, where it's fairly difficult to just be happy or content in that awareness. That awareness itself is a bit of a downer often, you know. Although I do find, though, you know, that we still have, of course, personal power enough to create some great moments still, even if they're fleeting moments. We still, you know, conversation here and there. We still have that. That's a power. That's an ability, and because it is, it's easier to go on and to not drink quite as much, I find. But I think I might be partaking again in that wacky tobacco. Just yeah, I think it might be about time. I you know, it's been over a year, and I think I'm pretty
That's
impressed
a good
with
cleanup.
myself.
That's a good cleanup.
yeah, yeah.
And you still write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's good.
still writing. I think I'll be writing more now. This is always inspiring, coming here and listening tonight to people being vulnerable, which, you know, first I was saying no to coming up here, but, you know, Mary egged me on it. And I feel that, you know, with that vulnerability, I can at least be vulnerable as well, even though I picture myself coming up here and tripping over my tongue constantly. But that's what vulnerability is about, I suppose. So I'm all right with that. And, yeah, you know, times have been challenging. It's very interesting when you come into a place like this. I find this joint here on this kind of night has the most, you know, lovely, vulnerable way, people talking about very difficult scenarios, situations. And that's something that, you know, people are often, I've got enough dark stuff, or I've heard enough intense stuff, or you know, cozy bubble, you know. But it's so it's great that there is still a space where it happens to happen. You know, not all the time, but I've found that the few times that I've come here, it's oddly enough seemed to reflect my own personal zone at the time, you know. And I remember first coming up here and saying, I'm sorry about this, but I've got some dark stuff tonight, and I kind of wanted to get that out. And people were, oh, good.
Juicy.
Really? But it was just, I can't believe, I just never expect that kind of support, I suppose. So it's really lovely to get that, and this is inspiring to come here, and I feel, I'll go home tonight and do some writing after, you know, such great topics tonight.
Nice,
Were
yes.
spoken here, and I do feel it's a time for creativity. I feel like it's been a little bit on hold lately, so it's nice to get it going. Always helpful to
You
get
do.
it going.
As John said, there are often unspoken and accidental themes that run through these evenings, and that's kind of interesting to take note of,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, it really is. I find it comforting right away when someone can get out something quite difficult, dark, and it's actually quite comforting. It's, you know, I think how Mary was mentioning about colors and the effect they have on her, and choosing the difficulty that she was saying it in such a way that seems maybe people don't understand it, but the difficulty of choosing between pink and gray, and that can really reflect on where you're at, and, you know, do you embrace, you know, the darkness that's been happening to you, because that's the truth of more how you feel, even though you know you're longing for pink again, you know you're longing for those times, but you want it to be authentic, and you don't want to necessarily be reaching for it and feeling, you know, so any kind of falsity in that, and desperation, because that can make you stay with gray perhaps all the longer. But I find that's it's interesting with that choosing between one or the other, and I think that probably shows that we need to just be authentic with those feelings. And in the society, when we're out there so many times, when we're out and about amongst people, we're putting on our best mask in order to, you know, satisfy the clients and make that money and pay those bills to get by in this life and whatnot. But I think more people are tired of that and pretty exhausted, understandably so, and that's when places like this are really helpful, and just doing any art you can, any creativity. And I'm looking forward to failing really hard at doing some painting, and
Nice.
you know, just you have to just fail and not be worried about it. having the guts to be ridiculous. I need to remember that, and I'm starting to remember again that it's okay to just not expect much out of yourself, and to really try to get aside and kill the perfectionism idea, because that you don't get anything done with that typically, I find. So, and I've got a whole bunch of non-work to prove that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Personal roadblocks.
Yeah, whole tons of it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you coming up and sharing
Well,
that, my
thank
friend.
you. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's nice to just get up and have a touch of courage in what feels like difficult times, like many others here. Yeah, a bit of a difficult time, but yeah, there's also newness after the difficulties, I think. So it's turn the fresh page sort of thing. So thanks for having me up. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay. And thank you all. I hope we'll see you again. August, perhaps. 39 days. Much to do. Shakespeare Fest, August 5th to 16th. Taming of a Shrew and Richard III. Okay. Good night. Thanks to Longevity John and Dr. Ted Cadillac. And thank you to all of you. The awkward hug. He's got his hand on my bottle. I like how Mark's comment about the handsome head coming up to
A subtle look, a touch, a thrill, reminds me what I feel and always will. You try to make things right before you go, but we both know it's just for show. You plead for mercy before dessert, up and on your way before you're hurt. Why'd you come to play? Baby, come and turn out the lights. A subtle look, a touch, a thrill, reminds me what I feel and always will. You try to make things right before you go, but we both know it's just for show. You plead for mercy before dessert, up and on your way before you're hurt. Why'd you come to play? Baby, come and turn out the lights. Come back when you got some time to spend. Here's your coat, here's your hair. What's your hurry, my friend? Always on your way.